I'm Ryan Adams, and I'm here with Tony Gray in his studio on Ottawa Street in Windsor, Glass Monkey Studios. Tony, with big events in the Marvel and DC world coming up, like Secret Wars and Convergence, I just wanted to get your input on like big events like that and what you think about them.
Well, I think they're a great way to provide a jumping in point for new readers because they're storylines that take into account all the major characters at one given time. So if you're coming in fresh and you haven't really read Marvel Comics or DC Comics, it's a great way to get introduced to every character within the Marvel and DC universe. Since the early days of the first Secret Wars and the early crossovers, I think Marvel and DC, they established, wow, what a great way to introduce characters on a wide, huge scope and have these monstrous storylines that are extremely interesting to people who maybe don't know the backgrounds of individual characters. They're huge events. They've grown and grown and grown, and they turn into some of the biggest events of every year for these companies.
Like you said, they're huge events, a big deal. Your character, the Conduit, would you ever consider like having like a major event, like, and he be a part of it?
Well, the little universe that the Conduit lives within has 3 or 4 characters, and they do intermingle all the time. So I like to think that every comic that I put out is a major event in itself.
Awesome. Like I'm a big fan of like Marvel and DC. Have you ever thought of like expanding into like Marvel DC? If you ever got offers or anything, would you ever like leave Windsor behind, and would you ever go out there?
Well, you know what? I bounce around from city to city, and I do have an interest in Marvel and DC characters. However, my work with the Conduit and Carla Homicide and White Plastic, it keeps me so busy that I don't often have a chance to jump into taking outside work for larger companies. I do occasionally do it, and it's a lot of fun. But jumping into a monthly title is just something that I don't have the time to do with my daily strips and my regular workload. So I'm always interested in reading the books by my buddies like Dave Finch and Jay Fabok and you know, all of the Spider-Man stuff that comes out. I've kept up with it since I was like 4 or 5 years old. So I love this stuff. And you know, when I do have time, I do jump in and draw the Spider-Man or the Batman or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen that you have some sketches over there. They look
Yeah.
great. Last question. Are you looking forward to any titles in the Secret Wars specifically for Marvel?
You know what? Anything that deals with Spider-Man, like I said, since I was a kid, I glom onto that. I've been buying Spidey, and I don't think I've missed an issue in 25, 30 years. So anything that has Spidey on it or involved in, I'll be there.
Okay. All right. I'm Ryan Adams reporting for Mediaplex News Now.